off the gathered zombies, one that usually signaled an impending feeding frenzy on The Walking Dead. It was enough to pull Lorie farther away from her table. She peeked around the machines for an unobstructed view of the unfolding drama. Wait a second. She knew Mr. Ice Cold. What is his name? Being the newest sales rep for Durden Pharmaceuticals, tasked her with calling on nearly 150 doctors, all of whom she had spent hours studying, where they went to med school, their medical partners, prescribing habits, patient demographics. The list went on and on. She knew him. She couldn't immediately place him. "Yeah, man, of course. Let me just..." The barista fumbled with his tools behind the counter, quickly but sloppily repacking the espresso machine cup to make another shot, then promptly dropping it, sending finely ground bean dust everywhere. "Shit," he mumbled under his breath. "Oh, come on." A zombie found her voice and protested the holdup. Mr. Ice Cold's jaw muscles clenched. He looked at his watch, then out the window, and across the street at the medical campus of Atlanta's largest hospital coming to life. He shook his head and closed his eyes. What is his name? Lorie thought again. He was Dr. Duke's new partner. Young, fresh out of med school, and not at all a warm, fuzzy type of guy. Last week, Lorie had chased him down a hallway trying to get a signature for samples, only to end up with a patient room door closed in her face. "There's no time. I have patients waiting." He grabbed the small latte off the counter and turned to go. "Dr. Sam Sherazi!" Lorie blurted it out the instant his name clicked in her head, not intentionally meaning to, but knowing she had to go with it now that she had. Shit. Iceman stopped, but said nothing, turning back to her with an empty expression. Had his gaze landed on Lorie, he might have recognized her. They kind of met last week. Only it didn't, resting instead on something behind her. Slowly, she turned and looked over her shoulder, too. Finding nothing but a chalkboard-painted wall, she turned back. For the briefest second, his eyes flew over her features. She smiled warmly. He remained stone cold. No hint of recognition on his end. "Lorie Braddock." She stepped forward and held out her hand. "With Durden Pharmaceuticals." She offered the extra crumb, still hoping to jog his memory. "I'm your Lampolin sales rep. We met last week." Lorie's greeting was bright and cheery. Slowly, his gaze trailed down the arm she extended, past her outstretched hand, and over to his own to check his watch again. He made a weird sound in his throat, then shook his head in a way that was politely dismissive. "Of course," he said, his attention still on his watch. The lie was so obvious, it left Lorie motionless with her hand still hanging out, unable to process his degree of incivility. "I'm late." And that was it. Nothing more. Pivoting on a polished loafer, he strode toward the exit. Bullshit, she thought, snapping out of it and watching him cross the parking lot through large glass windows. He certainly did not remember her. That was cool. He certainly did not have to be so condescending about the lie either, did he? She chewed on her inner cheek as she processed the interaction, only to notice her audience seconds later. All the dodgy morning caffeine addicts, still waiting, still zombies, but now slightly amused by her blow-off, too. She was used to being in the spotlight, though not when she felt so unprepared. Spotlights demanded flawlessness. Her cheeks warmed and she turned back to her table, mindlessly thumbing through the sales reports she'd committed to memory when she should have been sleeping. Why did not being remembered give her such a hollow feeling? She was a new sales rep. He was a new doctor.